All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us to learn about city resources for small businesses. My name is Jamie Valinskas, and I'm an economic development analyst with the city, and I will be hosting this meeting today. Angelina, if you want to go ahead and pull the agenda up. So we're going to start. We'll have some opening remarks from the Deputy City Manager, Will Crew. And then we'll give you a brief overview of what the Economic Development Department does, and we'll share some of our incentives. So we have an entrepreneurship grants program, the fresh produce grant program, the storefront beautification micro grant program, our facade program, lien forgiveness. We'll also be working with Public Works. They'll be jumping on here to share about their commercial waste and recycling programs. And we will finish it up with the Economic Review Committee and some information about Size Up. Once everything wraps up, we'll be answering some questions and answers. All right, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to our Deputy City Manager, Will Crew, for an introduction, for a welcoming.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We know time is of the essence for small businesses, and there's many things you got to get done every day, and you're never off the clock. So we're grateful for you to be in your attendance in the attendance today for this webinar. You know, grit and determination is what it takes to make a small business successful, and you know, it is the backbone of our local economy. And the city wants to partner with you and provide resources to assist you in making your business a success. That's why we're here today. If you walk away with one or two things from this webinar today, we'll count it as a success. So thanks again for taking your time out of your busy day to join us.
Thank you, Will. We appreciate it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over to our next slide with the Economic Development Department. We're just going to briefly introduce you to what our department does. I know a lot of people aren't sure what that means, but essentially our role is to support you all, the local small businesses. We want to help you be successful. And some of the ways that we do that is we can act as a liaison between businesses with the city. So if you're doing anything in the city and need some assistance, we're available to help you with that. We also do events. So for example, we're working with other organizations in the city this week for our Stockton Small Business Week, and we are also working with organizations next week for the upcoming Flavor Fest, which we're all super excited for and hope to see you at. We do business outreach through business visits, business walks, things like that, or even just easy pop-ins. We also have a quarterly newsletter, and that newsletter shares economic indicators, current resources, and we also share all of that information on our social media. So for example, we would share something like our economic development strategic plan that was recently approved, and that if you were to review that, that will show you where our focus will be for the next 5 years. It has resources and other items like that, and investment opportunities. And last, we do business programs and resources, which we'll be covering today. All right, if you want to go over to the next slide. So the first one is the very popular. We'll be releasing our 2022 Entrepreneurship Grant Program, the Notice of Funding Availability, or NOFA. We anticipate releasing that on May 16th. So look forward to that. That will be released through an e-blast, through our social media, and we'll also be emailing anybody who's participated in the program previously. A little bit about this program. This program really is designed to support our entrepreneurial ecosystem in Stockton. It has funding for business service organizations. So that would be something like a chamber or the SBDC or other organizations that we've worked with, such as Launchpad or Main Street Launch or Centro. It also supports entrepreneurs with innovative projects. The other item that this does is it provides more business resources and assistance to entrepreneurs in Stockton. So by providing funds to organizations, we help get more resources and assistance to the entrepreneurs in our city. All right, if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide. Some of the eligibility requirements. All applicants must be located within the Stockton city limits. If you're a business, you must be, the business owner and the business must be in Stockton. If you are an organization, you must be a functioning organization in Stockton. Every applicant must have a valid City of Stockton business license, and so not just a regular business license, but one through the city. And if you need assistance with that or you have questions on that, we can always help. Eligible entrepreneurs must have an existing business and an innovative project that they want to start or expand. Eligible organizations must provide consultation, technical assistance, access to capital, business support, or workforce support to local entrepreneurs and small businesses. All participants, anyone who receives a grant, must be willing to participate in interviews to share about your project and what the city funded. And you must be willing to participate in activities that support our entrepreneurial ecosystem. All right, you can go to the next slide. And again, to finish that up, that will be released May 16th is when we'll be releasing that, and we'll have all of the details on that. The grant process, once the NOF is out, you'll go to our web portal on Neighborly and you'll fill out an application. The city will review the applications first to make sure they're complete and the projects are eligible. And then the eligible applications will be reviewed by the scoring committee. The scoring committee will judge those applications and give them a score, obviously. And the top applicants will be notified to move forward with their project. We'll sign an agreement, and then the project can begin once the agreement is signed. No projects can start until the agreement is signed. During the process of during the period of the agreement, grantees will provide quarterly reports and updates to city staff and invoices so they can be reimbursed for any of their efforts. Once all of the funds have been exhausted, a final report will be provided. All right. And this is an annual program, so we definitely encourage people to participate. And if you don't receive a grant this year, to look into it next year. The next program we're going to share is our Stocked Full of Produce grant program. So if you want to go ahead, this is a couple of well, I'm pointing, you can't see my fingers, but those were a couple of the recipients from previous years. So this program addresses access to healthy food options. We really want to make healthy food more available in the food deserts in the city. Funding for infrastructure upgrades to retail stores to promote the sale and storage of healthier food options. So as you saw in the previous slide, we had some fridge spaces. And so those are the types of things that we would help businesses include into their structure. The grants are available for up to $10,000. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. The eligibility requirements. So to be eligible for this program, you must be a retail business such as a corner or convenience store. Eligible businesses must be located in the Stockton city limits and also within one of the targeted food desert areas. This also must be located in a low to moderate income area. The business must have a valid Stockton business license. They must be willing to enter an agreement with the city committing to selling fresh produce. And the business must complete at least 5 hours of consultative work with Refresh San Joaquin. And that's to make sure that the business is aware of how to store the fresh food and how to sell it and all that jazz. The grant process, the city will review the completed application. And once we review a completed application, we will notify the applicant of eligibility. And I'm going to back up here for 1 second. With the entrepreneurship program, that is a program that's open once a year. Applications are accepted during this short little window. But this program and our other programs are open throughout the year until funding runs out. So you can fill out a grant for this at any time, or an application. So the city will review a completed application, and if it is eligible, we will notify the applicant and ask for further detail. If approved, the applicant will need 2 bids for each item. So if you're wanting to put a fridge in, then you would need 2 bids for the fridge. The lowest bid will be selected. Applicants will complete a Refresh San Joaquin consultation. The city and applicant will enter into an agreement. And at that point, once we've entered into the agreement, either the applicant may proceed with the approved scope of work by either purchasing the fridge or completing any construction that needs to happen, or we can also purchase the fridge on behalf of the applicant directly. If the applicant does choose to purchase the fridge, then once it is purchased and installed, the city will issue payment to provide funding for that fridge. It is important in this program and the previous one, purchases made before an agreement are not eligible. This has to be executed once we have an agreement. All right, so that is our first two programs. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to my my co-worker, Angelina Abella. All right, go ahead, Angelina.
Thanks, Jamie. Hi, everyone. Angelina Abella, also an economic development analyst here with the city. So next, I will be talking about our storefront beautification microgrant. So this program is meant for small business owners to make minor storefront improvements to their property. So as you can see in the previous picture, it was a window replacement. Window had been broken, so they wanted to replace it. This one, for example, you could see that they got new signage. So yeah, the funding for this program is for the replacement and or improvements of windows, lighting, paint, awnings, signage, and planters or trellises. And the grant funding is up to $2,000. So for eligibility requirements, you must have the property owner's approval, and we do have a sheet for them to fill out saying that they approve of the improvements that you propose to make. It must be a commercial business. The business must be located in Stockton city limits. The improvements must be made on street-facing building frontage, and the business must have a valid Stockton business license. And this program is for lower moderate limited clientele. So that, let me see. So for the grant review process, similar to the previous program, you would submit an application on our neighborly portal. When we review a completed application, we will notify you of the status of that application. Once you are approved, or if you are approved, then we will need 2 bids for each item. The lowest bid will be selected. That is the city's policy. Then the city and the applicant will enter into an agreement for the approved bids, an approved scope of work. Then the applicant may proceed with that approved scope. So again, nothing should be started or purchased before an agreement is executed. And so for this one, we can, similar to the previous program, we can either, pay the contractor directly or the vendor directly for the purchase, or we could do a reimbursement to the applicant. Next, we have our commercial facade improvement forgivable loan program. And so this one is really meant for major commercial facade improvements. So as you can see in this example, this grantee got, awnings, replaced the windows, they put some wood veneers. So it was really major improvements. So for this program, you must be the commercial property owner. And it is, again, for major exterior cosmetic improvements. For this program, you have up to $20,000 per 50 linear feet of building frontage. So for that, there is a $10,000 base loan, and then there's an additional $10,000 on a matching dollar-for-dollar basis. So there is a monetary commitment from the property owner for this program. A lien will be placed on the property for the duration of the loan term, which is approximately 6 years. If the property is well maintained and kept free of any graffiti or blight or any trash, then the loan will be forgiven and the lien will be removed at the end of the term. So it could essentially work as a grant. So for this program, again, you must be the property owner. We do ask for a copy of the deed of trust with your application packet. It must be zoned commercial, so we cannot fund any residential properties. It must be located in Stockton city limits. The program is only eligible for street-facing building frontage. It must be located in a low or moderate income area, which we will verify after we get your completed application. You must also have a valid Stockton business license. That's something that some commercial property owners aren't aware of, but if you do own property and you're renting it out, then you do need a Stockton business license. We also require professional architectural renderings for this program, but we do offer up to $2,500 for architectural fees, and we would pay that directly to the architect. And last but not least, we do have a $525 application fee. So for this program, it's a little bit more lengthy, but similar to the other ones, you would submit an application through our neighborly portal. The completed application, again, does need a deed of trust. We do need at least kind of your scope of work, and we do need the $525 application fee. If you are approved, then we would let you know the amount that the property is eligible for, because again, it depends on the length of building frontage. After that, we would review the architectural renderings and the scope of work. The applicant will have to submit the renderings to design review for approval. After that, there's a 30-day comment period from the State Historic Preservation Office because this program is federally funded, and that's just something that we have to do. Then the applicant must get 2 bids from licensed contractors for the approved scope of work. And again, we would pick the lowest bid. After that, the city and applicant will sign loan documents. So that would include the loan agreement, a promissory note, and a deed of trust that would be recorded onto the property. After that, the applicant, contractors, subcontractors would attend a pre-construction meeting. And after that is when the applicant can move forward with construction. In order to pay for this program, the applicant would pay their portion, their committed portion of the project. And once they've exhausted those, then the city would pay the remainder of the project directly to the contractor. This program, since it is for significant upgrades, prevailing wage does apply for all on-site work. And again, no work could be done prior to having an executed agreement. Another program that we have here is a commercial lien forgiveness incentive program. And so this program is really meant to support new investment in commercial properties that may have had like liens placed on the property. So to be eligible for this program, it must be zoned commercial, must be located in Stockton city limits. The liens must exceed $5,000. And the applicant must provide a letter verifying the financial need. They must also demonstrate that the proposed improvements are going to make a significant impact on the surrounding neighborhood, because again, we want to support new investment. The applicant must also demonstrate their ability to undertake and complete those proposed improvements, and the applicant must not have caused, maintained, or allowed the violations, fines, fees, or liens. So this is for new property owners. So for this process, we do have an application that is available on the website. So this one is not on our neighborly portal, but you can go to our website. If you are approved, then we would enter into negotiations to determine the criteria for the proposed project. The city and applicant will enter into an agreement. The liens will be forgiven if the improvements are completed upon city inspection and the property is maintained. And then after the term of the loan, so 5-year, I'm sorry, not loan, 5-year term agreement, if the property is still well maintained, then the liens will be removed. And so to find our programs, you can go to our website. So that's stocktonca.gov/bizassist. And if you're looking for the lien forgiveness program, you'll find it on the left-hand left-hand side of that website. And so now I'm going to hand it off to Marlo with Public Works.
Hi, I'm Marlo Duncan. I'm with the city's Waste and Recycling Division. Today I have some information to share about city services that every small business needs, which is garbage and recycling. I'll share some resources with you. Our goal is to be a helpful partner to you to help right size your services and ensure that you're set up for success when you open business. And if you're an existing business, we're here to help you get the most from your services. Next slide. In the city of Stockton, we have exclusive franchise agreements with two companies that provide recycling, organics, and solid waste collection services. As a business in the city of Stockton, you have a choice with who you'd like to have your services with, Republic Services or Waste Management. You may have experience with one or both companies. We work closely with each of them with the goal of providing solutions and programs that are tailored to your unique business needs. We offer education in the workplace, waste audits if needed, all in an effort to right size your services, which results in a cost savings to you. If your business should ever have a need for industrial waste services, both of our haulers are permitted to do that as well as waste recovery systems. Next slide. So mandatory commercial recycling and organics recycling. The policies you see listed here are a result of more stringent requirements in California for cleaner recycling, diverting recyclable material from the landfill, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. California disposes about 30 million tons of waste each year, of which more than 30% could be used for compost or mulch. So increasing the recovery of recyclable materials is not only beneficial for the environment, it's beneficial for business because the end result is cost savings. As a free city service, we are here to help you navigate these policies and ensure you're receiving the right services for your business. We realize one size does not fit all, so we work in partnership with our franchise haulers to guide you in selecting services that are right for you. We can also assist with implementing and expanding your recycling programs in the workplace. And while I won't get into the details of the policies because they may or may not apply to your unique situation, I will say if you are scratching your head and you don't have it figured out, not to worry. That's what we're here for. And you can always get in touch with us to get your questions answered or share your concerns. Next slide, please. I did want to call attention to this particular piece of legislation that became effective earlier this year on January 1st, and it affects all businesses in California, and that is SB 1383. It's California's short-lived climate pollutant reduction law. All businesses and multifamily complexes of 4 or more units in Stockton will be required to recycle their organic waste. The purpose of the mandate is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions such as methane and to address food insecurity in California. Depending on what type of business you have, recycling food scraps or donating surplus food to local food banks could become a part of your business's program. Next slide. And finally, here's some resources for you. Republic Services and Waste Management have general information available on their websites. You can always pick up the phone and call to ask questions. We do have a Stockton Recycles website, which contains some helpful information too. If you feel you need more guidance, don't hesitate to reach out to us as your city partner. I can be reached at the recycling hotline. We want you to thrive and be successful, and we're here to help you do that. Again, my name is Marlo Duncan. I'm with the Waste and Recycling Division in Public Works, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Marlo. And just so everyone is aware, I have been putting the links over here in the chat. So the Stockton Recycles is on here. And then you'll also see in here, we put the link to our newsletter if you'd like to sign up to be notified about different programs. Okay, so we are going to look now at a couple of services that we provide. And the first one that we are going to cover is the Economic Review Committee, or an ERC. So if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide. So ERC meetings are for new development in the city. This could be a new development, or this could be tenant renovations of an existing building. It's a free service, and it is coordinated through our department, generally by yours truly. So you can go ahead and reach out to us, and we would get the information that we need to help coordinate this meeting. The meetings include representatives from all the different permitting departments, and so they can actually look at your site plans before you move forward with them to try and find any unexpected surprises or help you avoid anything that might make your project not go the way you were hoping. Each ERC member will provide comments on the proposed project and answer questions about topics such as zoning, use permits, public improvements, etc. The objective is to provide the project team with the project requirements to smoothly navigate the permitting and development process and to meet the project timelines efficiently. So these are held currently virtually on Thursday mornings. And like I said, you can reach out to our department and we can help to assist with this. Also, if you're interested in what an ERC looks like, we'll be holding a mock one on Thursday morning, where we'll be going through a previous project in the city and providing some general feedback so you can see what it looks like, but also get some information for yourself about what you would need to go through the commercial development process. All right, and with that, I'm going to hand it over to Angelina to share this other really cool service that we have.
Okay, so I will be talking about Size Up Stockton. And so this is a free a widget, I guess is what it would be called, on our Advantage Stockton website, and it's available to all businesses. So with this platform, it looks kind of convoluted, but maybe I will do a demonstration since we're doing pretty good on time. But anyway, so you can access this widget on advantagestockton.com. You will see a link at the top right corner. But basically, it's free market data, and it can help your business when you're making plans to either like expand or launch your business, because it provides local data and allowing you to see how your business compares to others in the same industry in this area. It gives you the capability to find competitors. So actually, you know what? Let's see if I can do an example, because that would be much easier. Let's start from the home screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, it's loading. Let's go. So this is the home screen for AdvantageStockton.com. You will see a link right here for Size Up.
And while that's loading, I am putting a link for Size Up in the chat.
Awesome. Also, I just wanted to point out, once you get to this webpage, we do also have the business resource trifold. So it's just a quick overview of the usual 10 steps to start a business. We also have a link to our business resource guide as well. So this is the Size Up platform. Say, for example, you're hoping to open a coffee shop in Stockton. So we would enter that information here. And from this point, you could pick, do you want to see how your business performance will measure up to others in the area, where you can find competitors, suppliers and customers. You can use this tool to optimize marketing and advertising. Or if you're looking for a specific type of customers, say, I want to open my coffee shop where there are a lot of college students or something, you have the ability to find where a lot of those people are located so that you could potentially open your business in that area. So I'll just look at the first tab really quick. This is where you could enter what your proposed revenue will be how much salary you're planning on paying your employees, how many employees you plan to have. And then once you enter this information, it'll give you data comparing what your proposed plans are to others in the city and in the county. And so you can, again, use this information to help plan your business. The cool thing too is they actually recently did this, but you could save this as a PDF so that you could use this information and save it for later. So this tab right here, competition, again, you're able to see your local competitors. Say there's like 4 coffee shops in one neighborhood. So maybe you don't want to go there. Maybe let's go to a different neighborhood that does need a coffee shop so I could get more customers. You can use that tab there. You could find potential suppliers, you know, supporting local businesses. Say you need cups, you need lids, you need napkins. So you have the ability to find local suppliers as well. And again, if there's like a specific type of demographic that you hope to, you know, cater to with your business, then you could play around with this and fill out some of the information here. And then it'll display the information as a heat map showing you where there's like a high volume of that demographic in that area. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Size Up. Again, this is a free resource, so please feel free to check that out. You can use the platform as much as you want, save the data, and that is just available for our small businesses. And then I think that is all for our resources. Let's just load. Okay, and I guess we'll open it up for Q&A.
All right, let's see what we've got here. All right, Angelina, there was one question about the commercial facade program. About how many of those are available each year? Or how many programs happen each, or projects happen?
How many facade projects typically happen in a year? It really depends, especially now because of the supply chain. But as you could tell, it's a kind of a lengthy program. So getting everything in line really depends on the applicant as well. But I would say we probably have, I mean, at least 2 per year. But again, it also depends on the size of the project because we could have one that's a very small project, a small property, or we could have one that's a really big property. Like for example, the waterfront warehouse, they had a facade loan that they completed, I think about, was it last year or 2 years ago? So that was a pretty big project. So it really just depends.
Thank you. All right, there's another question here. Are there any programs for home-based businesses? Not lighting. So obviously a few of the programs that we mentioned are for commercial properties, but the Stockton Entrepreneurship Grant, that one can apply to home-based businesses. Let's see, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. We've had a few, especially over the excitement of the last couple of years that have been coming and going that have been also open to home-based businesses. We have some programs that are coming up, and so we'll have to look into that. But yes, we do have a couple other programs available. So anything else that you can think of off the top of your head, Angelina?
I don't know about necessarily from the city, but there are business service organizations that do have funding opportunities by participating in some of their programs. So I would definitely suggest looking into, you know, maybe like SBDC, Main Street Launch, some of the local entrepreneur support organizations here in Stockton.
That's a good point. Actually, tomorrow there will be 2 events, and it's open to all types of businesses. But we have I guess we'll be going over that here. If you want to go ahead and I guess we can go to the next slide if there aren't any other questions. All right, if you want to go ahead and go over to the next slide. So tomorrow we have the SBDC Access to Capital Summit. So the ones tomorrow, they will be in person. And this will be really cool because we'll have panelists and they'll be talking about different programs. And if you have a home-based business or if you have a specific, if you're in a specific industry, you can ask what is available for, say, my notary business or what is available for my restaurant. And there will be experts there who are very familiar with all of these programs and who can lead you in the right direction there. We'll also be having in person is the San Joaquin, is the SJPAC. And that's for government procurement and business resources that people are invited to join, and we'll be covering some access to capital, and we'll also be covering diversity, equity, and inclusion, and what that means for your business, how it affects your bottom line. So I would definitely recommend going to those two events if you're interested in different programs and resources for any type of business. The SJPAC event will also have procurement opportunities there. So opportunities to look at bids from different government agencies and large organizations. Later today, we will have the Delta College is hosting an entrepreneurship certificate programs webinar. And they always do a really nice job. And then on Thursday we have a lot going on Thursday at 8:15, we have the Greater Stockton Chamber business orientation. So if you're curious about what the chamber offers and how that could benefit your business, I would suggest signing on for that so you can learn more about their programs and resources and their networking opportunities. At 11 o'clock, there's our commercial property requirements webinar. So like I said, that's going to be kind of like a mock ERC. So you can see what it looks like if you were going to be opening a commercial space in Stockton. And then at 2 o'clock, UOP will share their business certificate programs webinar. I also want to encourage everybody that this week we partnered with Makers Made, and they have a pop-up happening and their location is at Courthouse Plaza. And we're actually on Good Day Sacramento this morning, so we'll share that later too, so you can kind of see what they have available in their shop. But we definitely encourage stopping by. With that, I think that covers everything. So thank you so much for joining us for this event. I hope that you found something useful in there, and that we will see you at another event. And we just want to let all the small businesses know how much we appreciate you doing business in Stockton, and please let us know if there's ever anything we can do to support you. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Take care. Bye.